Hello there, mindful seer people, or people choosing to see mindfully. Oh, there's a little glare. Sorry about that with the light on my glasses. I usually have natural light when I'm doing this, but I don't have that right now. So we are here. This is the fourth video in a series that I'm doing for Mercury Retrograde. These are B-ism readings. So far, this is the second week and second video. We did B and E for body and emotions already this week. And now this reading for the collective is for the I, which is your intellectual life, the S, your spirit soul, and M for mastermind. So mastermind is your connection to all that is, your higher power, your connection to the matrix, great mystery, the divine, spirit, however, whatever term we want to use, it's that something, that kind of interface that we all have, that our souls are joining with or joined with inextricably throughout all time. That place that's out of time space. Okay, so we're going to keep it brief. I chose to do these readings now for the collective during Mercury retrograde because I find that we are so conditioned to evaluating ourselves based on the appearance of forward moving progress, that when that can be subverted or turned into a different direction because Mercury is asking us to go back and correct things, or emotions or situations or issues from the past are coming up to be cleared and corrected. Sometimes we're not able to focus on the forward movement in the same way, and that can frustrate a lot of us. Now, today I had some Mercury retrograde things happen. In fact, this week I completed a implant in my mouth, a tooth implant the process started in 2020. Can you believe that? I've had a bed from an ex stored underneath my sofa for years. That's finally onto the front porch and ready to go to charity. And a business interaction that was incomplete from August of last year, popped out this week today, starting like right at the beginning of Mercury retrograde, a little before, to be hashed out. So yeah, these things, there are probably some things popping out that were not necessarily on your agenda to be taken care of. All right, so now we're going to do I, intellectual life. Okay, oh, cute. Okay, so this is one of the white squirrel deck cards. This is James Wanless. I call this the Just Do It deck. This is not a card that needs to be interpreted. It's very clear, very specific. This is the home card. Find your place, be at home. Okay, so sometimes with the intellect, we can be in overdrive. And when we do that, we're not even creating like a mental environment for ourselves that's homey. We're creating sort of an unfriendly mental environment. So it's really good, especially during busy times or times when things are going unexpected, to keep your intellect, what's going on in your head, homey. Keep it nurturing and positive to the best, of your ability. Now, of course, that's sometimes easier said than done. And I just like to remind people that the way the Buddhists treat and the way I deal with intellect, it's just like any other sense. It's just like your tongue can want too much sugar, your eyes can want too much beauty. And so sometimes that intellect wants to drive the entire train. Okay, it wants to run the entire show of our being. And, we have our gut, we have our heart, we have our senses, we have our spidey senses. We have all these different ways of knowing. And if we sort of harness our intellect to all that other knowing and say, okay, make a great plan because I've already checked in with my gut and my heart and my senses and my intuition, I am pretty clear on a correct direction. When we do it that way, we're going to get better results than if we're just sort of in this bandwidth only. Okay, so many of us are conditioned based on, growing up in this culture, not a First Nations culture. We're multiple generations back from the people who came here, disconnected from the land, disconnected from nature, a lot of work in offices and cubicles and computers. Okay, all that environment and all those cultures tend to put us just in this bandwidth. Okay, and a lot of the time that bandwidth does a lot of judging, evaluating, and measuring, which is useful, okay, if it's signed up for the right purposes. But a lot of times it can be turned against ourselves, and then that intellectual environment, that intellect environment, is not so homey. All right, so let's keep our intellects homey. All right, now we're going to do S for Spirit Soul. Okay, what would Spirit like for everybody to know who watches this video about how to maximize these energies of this Mercury retrograde? That was the whole point of the series. How do we make the most of this divine moment? Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so what comes out right now is the Sorrow card. Okay, sometimes during Mercury retrogrades, things pop up from the past. Things that were maybe important to us in our soul journey, or are currently, actively things in our soul journey that we have grief about, that we have sorrow or regret, any of those kinds of emotions. This might be a time when they're going to show up. And, when those things show up, first of all, take a look at how pretty this card is. Okay, it is a very, very pretty card. And one of my Voyager sisters down in Sarasota, this is one of her favorite cards, because when we can allow that sorrow to pour out, just the way these flowers are pouring out of this vessel, when we can allow those emotions to come up to the surface and to flow out gently, then they're not going to run our show. They're not going to hang out in our lungs and give us, infections during the winter and all kinds of other difficult things. The energies of the emotions are powerful. So our watcher self, it's important for our nurturing watcher self to embrace and love us and create that healthy home environment in our head through those emotional things. When these things come up, whatever they are, the regrets, the guilt, the people who might not be here for the holidays. Okay, there may be people that you'd really like to be sharing these holidays with who are not going to be here. They've already made their transition. When all of these things come up, it's okay to take a little time and honor what's happening inside yourself. Oh, yeah, there's that disappointment that my dad, for me, he's been off the planet for quite a long time. I can't share the life I'm having now with him in his physical form. At the beginning of the month, closer to Thanksgiving and a little bit, when November comes, when the season starts to change, I always miss him. There's always a little sad, and so I wrote a little piece and posted it, okay, about what the Thanksgivings were like when I spent Thanksgivings with my dad as a kid. That was a way for me to process some of that sad into something that felt honored that time that we had together, and also, just sort of brought some of that happy into this time space. So, okay, that's it. Something might be coming up now that's, sorrow with your soul journey. And then, or even, if you think there's something hanging out that you're not dealing with, you might even want to invite it up, because this is a time when it would come up during the retrograde. And now, okay, M, Mastermind. What does the Mastermind card, what does the all that is, the unseen, the great mystery? I feel like sometimes I think about that part as like an organic intelligence. That I love when you see like a little sprig of green coming up through concrete. I think, oh my gosh, the masterful intelligence that's inside that little piece of green. To me, that just speaks volumes about, the intelligence of the infinite, of the all that is. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so we are getting another white squirrel card. All right. So we've gotten two during this little 3-card reading. And so what's really cute and funny is this little squirrel here. Actually, this is actually James Wanless dressed up in squirrel suit. And when he made this deck, it was a budget deck. Okay, this was not like a 5-year project like the Voyager Tarot or whatever. This was like, we need to put something out now. And this card says, be resourceful. No rain, change, be resourceful and resilient. Okay, so sometimes, we do think of, I do think of my higher power or all that is, or the creator as a source, okay, as a place where my things that I would like to have to take care of myself could be coming from. And we're not always exactly certain, like these days, people's jobs come and go, and there can be a lot of change and transition sometimes in where the resources are coming from that are going to take care of us. But resourcefulness to me is being really open. Okay, we don't always know exactly how things are going to happen. Like before the hurricane, my boards for my windows were really not in very good shape. And that second hurricane, Milton popped up really fast, and I needed something for my windows. Well, a couple doors down, people were taking down a shed. And I am telling you, those shed walls and doors were perfect window coverings. They were light, they were easy to put up. And I thought, oh, I'm keeping these. They can store outside and they're not going to rot. I mean, fantastic. So I find if we keep our eyes open, okay, and pay attention to what the universe is offering to us, a lot of times our needs are going to be met in unexpected ways. But we have to have some confidence or faith that the resources are there, and then be, sort of creatively open to how we might use something in a different way. Like, I saw those, windows and doors of that shed, perfect coverings for windows in a hurricane situation. Okay, so that's it for today. We did the B earlier in the week, the E, the I, the S, and the M. So I created this system because I was interested in living myself a body, mind, spirit life. And when I did readings and consultations with people, and I was doing various types of readings, a lot of information can come through, and sometimes it's a lot to retain. So I like this little system because I can expand it or I can shrink it, to fit how much time I have with someone, or for yourself, if you want to check in with spirit using whatever tool you have. You can say, you can focus on the different areas, or you can do all of the areas at one time. Okay, people, peace and happy. I will be back on the weekend for our third and final week of this Mercury retrograde, which I'm sure some of you will be happy to be through. I am getting things accomplished that have been on the list for a while, so I'm very pleased with that. And thank you for the Mercury retrograde time to focus on reactivities. Okay, peace and not being reactive, but acting through things that are not complete. Okay, peace and happy.